Video games. They began as a simple form of entertainment. In 1947, Thomas T. Goldsmith Jr. invented the cathode ray tube amusement device. It was a missile simulator inspired by the radar displays from World War II. Then in 1966, Ralph Baer invented an interactive game played on a television set. This took gaming to a whole new medium. Following Baer, Atari created Pong, which is popularly thought to be the first video game. Fast forward to the mid 90s, and now games are becoming much more complex. They have now evolved from raster graphics to 3D graphics, 8-bit to 64-bit, to increasingly sophisticated storylines. Now the developers have the tools to create works that go beyond simple entertainment.
Ready?
Purpose is entertainment, and as with the entertainment business, is to make money. But I also feel that it's just like any other event, because it can be used like as a social gathering event. Because say for LAN parties, or maybe you just want to get a few friends over, have a few beers, and just play a few game.
A lot of people are hugely entertained by games, and they have that value to people. And to, I think when you're designing one, you usually are thinking about how much fun it's going to be for the people.
They like TV and literature. They can kind of express new ideas to society, right? I think a lot of ideas about video games were at first kind of like, oh, these are just games, they're nothing worth anything. But now they've kind of become so mainstream and such. It's like a huge market now because everyone's so involved in them, and you can probably a lot easier express your ideas.
When I was 10, I started becoming intrigued with video game stories, because I feel video game stories can be just as well written and just as developed, if not more, than say those found in books and movies.
Well, in terms of industry, video games are one of the most cutting-edge forms of entertainment you can have. It's almost a direct representation of our growth in technology and ability to distribute and connect people vast distances across across continents. But it is also simply one of the premier forms of entertainment. It's what we can achieve through storytelling and graphics and technology, all bundled up into one.
Have you ever considered video games as art?
See, now, the main problem is that's not even a question. I mean, games are art. Just about anything else in this world can also be considered the same. Movies, film, books, paintings, as good or bad as they might be, they can all be considered art.
In a video game, you have so many different art forms involved, and you could take a piece from the game, whether it be a screenshot or a texture that one of the artists made, or a song or a cinematic. Any of those aspects of a game could be taken separately and be seen as art in themselves.
They're anything that can stimulate the mind, imagination, emotions of a person. But whether or not all games can be considered high art or sophisticated art is the bigger question, I would think.
The issue is that you're combining all of this into something even bigger, and it sort of you lose sense of how all those other pieces of art are coming together to form this bigger whole.
For the games that don't ever strive to be art, but try to go in that direction, say like COD or Call of Duty series, because they have really intense and cinema quality moments, but those alone don't make a game. Don't make game art.
Games like Shadow of the Colossus or Flower or simple games like Bit Trip Runner. These are all titles that are much more about the experience and the effect it has on you and the emotions that you feel through it, rather than just creating a good game that's fun and challenging and exciting, because it's a different set of rules. Most of the best known forms of art, like film, poetry, painting, they are non-interactive experiences for the most part. You will sit and watch them and view them and let them play out, and you interpret them. Sit back and think about what kind of effect it had on you. But games can't do that. Games have to stimulate you. They have to interact with you. They have to work with other people. They have to have rules and specifications that you have to follow and stick to. And that's what makes a good game. But it's everything else that makes it art.
And also, a good storyline doesn't work without anything else, because say a game like Blaze Blue, it's a fighting game with a really in-depth story, which is quite well written, with characters that are really well developed. But the flaw was, it's a fighting game. No one really plays a fighting game for its story.
But I think at the same time, when you play a really good game and you feel connected to the world and you feel all of those pieces coming together, then the video game itself is art.
You play it for the experience, for how you feel, what it looks like, rather than the fact that, you know, you're going to have a hell of a time with your friends with a few beers around the TV somewhere.
For the day we see new light, I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time.